Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village nestled among rolling green hills, there was a cat named Whiskers. This wasn't just any cat. Whiskers was a fluffy, grey ball of cuteness with bright green eyes that could melt your heart. He had a way of stretching languidly in the warm sunshine and letting out the softest, most contented purr you've ever heard. To everyone in the village, with its charming red-roofed houses and gardens bursting with colourful flowers, Whiskers was the picture of innocence. But Whiskers had a secret, a very big, very sneaky secret. While he played the part of the perfect, cuddly companion during the day, his mind was always buzzing with clever, mischievous schemes. You see, Whiskers had a personal philosophy. "Why should I work hard for my meals?" he'd whisper to himself with a flick of his tail, "when I can get everything I want the easy way?" And so, when no one was watching, the real Whiskers would emerge. He'd tiptoe with the stealth of a shadow, his paws barely making a sound, always on the lookout for his next opportunity. His first trick of the day often involved the kind old woman who lived at the end of the lane. Every morning, like clockwork, she would pour a bowl of fresh, creamy milk and place it on her kitchen table to cool. This particular morning was no different. Whiskers, hiding just around the corner, saw his chance the moment she turned her back to tend to her plants. His eyes narrowed in concentration. Left paw forward, then the right paw. He moved with slow, deliberate steps, a furry little spy on a mission. He leaped onto the chair, then the table. Splash. In seconds, the milk was gone, and Whiskers was busy licking every last drop from his whiskers, a satisfied smirk on his face. When the old woman returned, she just sighed, shaking her head. Oh dear, not again. Whiskers, of course, was already curled up in his favorite sunny spot, pretending to be deep in a peaceful nap, the very image of innocence. Later that day, feeling rather pleased with himself, Whiskers decided to try his luck at the bustling village market. The air was filled with the sounds of chatter and the delicious smells of fresh bread and ripe fruit. But Whiskers only had one thing on his mind: fish. He trotted over to the fishmonger's stall, where glistening silver fish were piled high in wicker baskets. The fish seller was a busy man, shouting out prices and weighing fish for his customers. Whiskers watched and waited, his tail twitching with anticipation. For just a single moment, the seller turned his back to grab a bag. That was all it took. Zoom. In a flash of grey fur, Whiskers snatched a plump fish and darted away. "Stop, you sneaky cat!" the fishmonger yelled, waving his fist in the air. But Whiskers was too fast. He weaved through the legs of the shoppers and disappeared into the maze of alleyways between the houses, a soft, triumphant laugh escaping his throat. Now feeling invincible, Whiskers strutted to a wooden fence that bordered a garden with a large oak tree. The tree was full of little birds, chirping and flitting from branch to branch. "I must be the smartest, most clever cat in the entire village," he thought, puffing out his chest with pride. he decided to add a bird to his collection of treats for the day. He crouched low on the fence, his body tense, his tail twitching back and forth like a metronome. He was just about to pounce, to launch himself into the air for what he was sure would be a spectacular catch. But then Crush, the old rickety fence post he was perched on, suddenly gave way. Whiskers tumbled down, not onto soft grass, but right into a large, gooey, muddy puddle. The sudden noise sent the bird scattering into the sky, chirping what sounded like laughter. Whiskers slowly pulled himself out of the muck, looking down at his once pristine paws, now covered in mud. He let out a frustrated frown, while he muttered to himself, shaking a muddy leg that certainly didn't go as planned. As evening approached, the sunny sky turned a moody grey. Dark, heavy clouds rolled in, and soon a torrential rain began to pour down. Whiskers, now cold, wet, and very hungry, began his search for food, but his usual tricks were failing him. The old woman's door was shut tight against the storm. The fishmonger had packed up his stall and gone home. Every door and window in the village was closed. No milk, no fish. Whiskers whispered, his voice trembling from the cold. He felt a pang of desperation he'd never known before. His cleverness was useless against the rain and the locked doors. Shivering and miserable, he finally stumbled upon the house of a little girl named Lena. She was peering out her window, watching the raindrops race down the glass, when she spotted a pathetic, soaking wet ball of fur huddled on her doorstep. Her eyes widened with compassion. "Oh, you poor, poor kitty," she said, her voice full of warmth. She quickly opened the door and gently coaxed him inside. Lena wrapped him in a soft, dry towel and rubbed his fur until he stopped shivering. Then she brought him a bowl of food. No tricks required. As Whiskers ate, feeling the warmth spread through his body, he also felt something else. A strange, unfamiliar feeling was blooming in his chest. It was guilt. Lena's simple, unconditional kindness made all his clever tricks seem small and mean. From that day forward, Whiskers was a changed cat. He made a silent promise to himself to leave his sneaky ways behind. He stopped stealing milk and fish. Instead, he found a new purpose. He started helping the farmers by chasing mice from their barns, earning his meals with honest work. He would sit patiently outside Lena's door, waiting for her to come out and play. He learned that a gentle stroke and a kind word felt better than any stolen treat. Soon, the villagers began to notice the difference. "Have you seen Whiskers lately?" they'd say to one another. "That cat has really changed." He was still the same clever cat, of course. His mind was just as sharp as ever. But now he used his cleverness for good, finding the sunniest napping spots, figuring out how to get Lena to play his favorite games, and becoming the best companion a little girl could ask for. Whiskers had learned the most important lesson of all. Being sneaky might bring a moment of satisfaction, but it is honesty and kindness that fill your life with true, lasting happiness and warmth. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed spending time with Whiskers, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales that warm the heart. See you next time.